So hopefully I will be able to show you close up how to do these stitches. This one, everything is from the center. It's just a wide blanket stitch, but you go in the center. So I come up from the center. So, no, sorry, I do my stitch here, and when you have your stitches in the center, you notice that everything goes to the center. So I'm going to do a long stitch from the center up, and that's my first stitch. I have my knot. Then don't put your needle at an angle, straight up and down, then go to that stitch. Over, straight up and down. If you go sideways, you're going to have you're not going to have them in the center. So try and put them straight in the center, and then go through. Straight up and down in the center, and go through. Straight. And go through. And I'm going to keep working all the way around. I hope my camera will stay on. It has a tendency to shut off on its own. And this one's very easy, but I like it. And this is the stitch that I used for the Flowers of Spring rug kit. Enter. There's something that I wanted to mention also that I forgot to mention. When you are stitching with your basting, sometimes maybe with stick pins, you will hold your rug like this and stitch. When you have the basting and no pins, it has to be flat. You need to have your rug flat. Trust me, I know. It will go all out of sorts if you lift it. The basting is not enough to hold it securely in place to do that much shifting of the base. So flat and then stitch. Sometimes it evens out correctly for the right number of spokes, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, this one's not too bad. There, so I'm finished my spokes. Come on. My goodness. When you don't want it to take time, it certainly does. There. Now, let's see. There. I'm going to hook it with my first stitch. Let's see. Hook it with my first stitch into the fabric, the wool, and close it. And then I'm just going to do a couple of very tiny back stitches to secure it. And I'm going to put my needle underneath and bring it out somewhere, but not through the back, just underneath the penny. And that is the first stitch. It's like little pincushion types. Cute. And on the back it does have the star. Now, there's where I've stayed my stitches. I'd like to have that a bit neater. That doesn't belong there. That's where I did a basting stitch to put the to put the penny on the fabric, but they do come out really nice. A nice finish on the back. So that's the first one, and I will get ready for the second. I hook my needle inside my stitch and pull it. It's really just a simple blanket stitch, and now I have one V. I'm going to put my thread in, out, and do the second part of the V. There. And I'll just continue to do that all the way around. If you are not sure about how to do this one, there are YouTube videos. Another V, and I'll try and get as many done before the camera shuts down again. There. These are by no means the only stitches that you can use. You can use whatever you want, but I will tell you at the end of the video why I'm using these decorative stitches. You just keep going around. Every one forms a V. And another V. Whoops. There, and I'll finish that over to here, and then we'll do the French knot. So I've come to the end, and it worked out quite well. That's my last stitch. And just as before, I'm just going to hook it to my first stitch with a little back stitch. Well, okay. Why won't that pull through? If it has to go wrong, it will go wrong on a video. There. I had my knot too close. So I'll just cut one of those. For some reason it's not working. I am in a bit of a rush. It's almost noon. Avery is supposed to be here. I wanted to do my videos before he came. So, let's see. I hope these come out good. There. So now I'm doing a back stitch. And pulling it through. Now I'm going to use the same thread to do the French knot. So I'm just going to put it through, not through the back, and try and get it through the center. That's close enough. Bring my threads out. And I will give you videos on YouTube for someone else to show you these, but I'll just basically show you. And I hold my needle like this. I hold it with my thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do 5, some are 3. So now I'm pulling my thread so that it's very close to where I came up, and I put it down. Then you very slowly pull your thread through, and this thread is quite thin, so it just gives you a little knot like that. Perfect. Now, and then you, of course, you stitch it back here. Now I wanted to mention about the thread. Some of you have large rugs that you're going to be doing, larger than the regular rug here. You have more pennies. You need to make sure that you have enough thread. So you should, if you're doing a large rug, more pennies than just a regular kit, pull your thread and divide it in half. There. Honestly. Divide it in half and cut it. And then do a stitch and measure how many of your 1-inch pennies you can get from one of these pieces of thread. Then count your thread and divide it by 2. That's how many pennies you'll be able to stitch. Some stitches take more than others. Now, this one, I can only get 2 pennies from that. I can only get 2 pennies from that. The blanket stitch, just the regular blanket stitch, I can get 4. So it depends, and you will need to do that to see if you have enough thread. You can always add floss. Just take your thread and match it as close as possible. I would go a bit darker, 1 or 2 shades darker than this if you're adding floss, and I would also add it as a row and not stop and start halfway in a row and change the color of your thread. And that is it. So you can go ahead and stitch your rugs until you come to the edging. If you're doing this edging, you do not stitch that last row, otherwise you stitch the complete rug. And then I will be back in tomorrow, hopefully maybe the next day, if not tomorrow, to finish off the class rug kit, and we will do that and we'll finish the edging on it. And then I will also give you the onion dye video. I have one part of it done. I need to cook the onions for several times, so that takes days to do, and then I need to do the rest of the work that has to be done, and that onion dye video will be in parts as well. So I hope you enjoy. Good luck stitching your rug. If you do have any questions, please just go in the group. I'll try to keep up and check, and I hope you enjoy.